And today we are going to make Mashi, which is a recipe from Egypt, stuffed vegetables, stuffed with fragrant rice and beef mixture. This is a collaboration, so please do check out the recipes from my fellow collaborators. They are great cooks from around the world, and the links to their channels are in the video description. We'll need for the recipe: a pound of ground beef, 2 cups of cooked rice, 1 can of tomato sauce, 1 small can of tomato paste, water, zucchini, bell peppers, mushrooms, and eggplant if you want, 1/2 to 1 onion, 1 clove garlic, a half a bunch of fresh coriander, a third to a half a bunch of fresh dill, a few mint leaves, 5 mLs, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, cayenne pepper, salt and pepper each, and half a teaspoon each of cinnamon, ground cumin, and paprika. So assemble all those ingredients and let's get started. I have half an onion that I will finely dice with the garlic. And then I'm going to put a little bit of sunflower oil in a pan, heat it up, and add the teaspoon of cumin seeds. And you want to stir them on high heat for 1 minute, just to kind of break down the outside shells to release the flavor. Then add your onion and garlic mixture and cook that on medium-high heat for about another 2 minutes, just until they turn slightly yellow, slightly translucent, like you see here. Now, normally I would add the ground beef and cook it in that pan, but because I'm going to make a non-spicy version for my husband who can't eat onions, I'm cooking the beef in a separate pan. So you just want to cook your ground beef until it is fully cooked. When it is cooked, I took a fork just to try to mince up some of the bigger bits so they're smaller. Then I took some pepper, I added the pepper and the salt, and I took away half the meat so that I would have what was left for my spicy version. Here I am taking the leaves off of the dill. Make sure you washed everything, and now I'll take the leaves off of the coriander because I don't want the stems, and then very finely chop these herbs. Going to add the cooked rice to the beef, plus the whole can of tomato sauce, 400 mLs, which is almost 2 cups, a little bit of olive oil. I forgot that in the ingredient list. I added it just because I like it, and the dill, the coriander, and all of the seasoning, except for the salt and pepper, which we already added. You just want to cook this for 1 minute to 2 minutes, just to kind of get the leaves slightly cooked. And here we added the onion mixture to my half of the meat. Now I've got the vegetables: zucchini, bell pepper, and mushroom. Now normally you would cut off one end and then core the inside of the vegetable and leave it whole. However, I am struggling with a very painful back, so I am not going to do that. But that is the traditional way to do it. So what I'm going to do instead is just cut the ends off my zucchini, cut it in half, and then cut it in half again, slice it lengthwise in half. Then I'm going to, in a minute, also slice it in half, and I'm going to remove the inside of the zucchini this way. So that is what I'm doing, but as I said, traditionally you would leave it whole and you would only remove the inside of the vegetable. My vegetables ready for filling, and do not throw out the insides of the zucchini because we can use it to make a vegetable dish. I'm going to cut my bell pepper in half, but like I said, normally you wouldn't do that. You would just remove the stem and the seeds, but leave it whole. And then I will remove all the seeds. Here's the bell pepper, and you can make as many vegetables as you want. For the mushrooms, I'm just removing the stem and leaving the mushroom whole like that. So here we've got everything ready, and like I said, don't throw out those vegetable bits. Now the mixture has been cooled enough that I can handle it. I'm going to fill in my vegetables. You can add as much or as little filling as you want. I like to kind of mound my filling a bit, but you can do it flat, whatever you prefer. Filling in all of your vegetables until they're filled to your preference, and then you're ready to cook. They are all ready for stuffing. Now, this is the can of tomato paste, which is about half a cup, maybe a bit less. I'm adding about 1/4 cup of water and stirring it up. We're going to make the sauce that we're going to cook the vegetables in. I decided that wasn't enough, so I've added almost half a cup of water, 125 mLs to this recipe. Bit of extra water in the pan. Add about half of your sauce and water mixture, maybe a little bit more, and heat it up and get it well mixed. You can start adding in your stuffed vegetables to cook in the sauce. Put in as many as you can in your pan. As you can see, the sauce is warm, but that's okay. A tiny bit more salt and pepper, and I'm thinning out the sauce a bit more because I just want to put a little bit on the top of each of the vegetables. You're ready to cook. Here is the spicy version. The previous one was the non-spicy version for my husband. You are going to cook these on the stovetop, medium high or medium, covered. I'm adding extra onion and garlic, as you can see, for about 20 minutes. Doesn't that look amazing? And here we are cooking for 20 minutes, and then it will be ready. Pull them out, plate them, serve and eat, and you are done. You can freeze this recipe if you want. Wrap them up good in saran wrap and freeze them, or eat them all fresh. Is the finished version. Doesn't that look delicious? It was really, really good. And the coriander and the cumin gave it such a kind of a rich, musky flavor. And then the cayenne pepper and the paprika and the onion and garlic and all the other seasonings just added, you know, a brightness and a spiciness. It was really, really good. So please do check out the recipes from my collaborators, and I look forward to seeing you in the next recipe. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, give me a like, and leave me a comment if you have ever had this recipe before, or if you have been to Egypt. Bye!